morning. I hope you're having a good day so far today. I would like to, if I get a chance, get my string of turtles trimmed a little bit and hopefully propagate them because I really like that plant and I would like to have a ton of them around my room. So that's the main thing that I'm hoping to do today. Good morning, little ones. Are you ready to go outside? I just checked and it's about the same temperature as it was, you know, feeling like as the high yesterday. So they should be okay. They're going out earlier, which is nice, and it's cloudy out. So hopefully it'll be warm enough for them. They are still doing good. Obviously they have the yellow leaves that I mentioned yesterday, but they have like so many, like these leaves are super healthy down here. So they are growing new leaves. If they didn't have that, I would be concerned. This little guy is like doing the best at cure with all the new leaves. But yeah, if they didn't have that, I would be very concerned. But since they do, I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I'm gonna get these little guys outside. Let's go, sweeties. Here you go, little ones. Enjoy your day. You're gonna do great. It's definitely still really cold out here and there is absolutely no humidity. So that's interesting. But these little guys are out here for the morning and hopefully all day long. Good luck, little ones. You're gonna do great. I'm gonna be trimming this little guy up a little bit, but I wanted to show you what I'm planning on doing before I get to it. And also today has been such a nice, just relaxing, rainy day. The tomatoes are still outside. They are on the table, but we put the umbrella up over them so they're not getting like an intense amount of rain. Because it's been raining all day, the umbrella is completely wet. So it's kind of like filtered and gently misting down onto them. So they are getting some rain on them, but it's very gentle. And they did get some of the full rain earlier, but once it started getting heavy, we put the umbrella up. But yeah, they've been out there all day and they're still doing really well. Actually, I think one of them isn't doing well, but I think the rest of them are doing pretty good, which is exciting. Not counting the one that doesn't have any leaves, the little stick. That one, obviously, I don't know about. It might be alive. I honestly have no idea. One of them so far is not gonna make it. It might, but it's definitely struggling a bit. But the rest of them are doing amazing, and they're just having a very nice rainy day out there. It's a little bit chilly, but it's not like freezing at least, so they're perfectly fine. But right now, I'm gonna get this little guy taken care of because I don't know if you can see. Again, I'll show you a little bit better, but there are leaves down here and then there's a big gap on the vine. So I'm going to trim quite a bit of it off and shorten it up and do that so that way it can get a little bit more full. But what I'm going to do is I'm not gonna, whatever I cut off, I'm not gonna get rid of because I have a problem and I really like the string of turtles. So I'm not gonna get rid of it. And I have a bunch of these little tiny cups that my little plants come in that I get from clearance plants, and I save every single one of them because you know, you never know when you might need it. And I'm going to be putting them in these so that way I can propagate them. Before I trim the little one up, I will show you a little bit closer so that way you can see what I mean. Like this vine right here, it has a bunch of teeny tiny leaves that never opened, and then it has a bunch of them that are starting to further down, and that's kind of how a lot of them are because a lot of those vines grew through winter when it didn't really have much sunshine and it was too cold and I wasn't watering it much. So it just got pretty like bald. So I'm gonna trim all that up, probably quite high, probably around up there, so that way it will be better. Then I'm gonna put them in that tray. Yes, my shoes are still there. No, I'm not planning on putting them away until I vacuum, but I'm gonna take what I cut off and put it in this tray, and then I'm gonna see how many of these containers I need to propagate them, and then I'll fill it up with soil and put the little guys in. But obviously I'll show you how I do that in just a second. Let me get this little guy trimmed. I think that should be good. The little guy is quite trimmed and, you know, a lot shorter, and that's also the top of the plant if you were wondering what it looks like. I got a lot of the dried leaves out and it should feel a lot better. Hopefully when I water it, it'll actually hold on to some because the soil that it's in is at least 2.5 years old. I don't know how old the soil was when I got the actual plant because this little guy was a clearance plant as well. But before I show you how much I took off of the plant, I wanted to show you how I like did the trimming of the vines and stuff. I just take my fingernail and then I just break it, and it's very, very easy to do. They're very soft plants, so you have to be very gentle with them. I didn't use scissors or anything. I just like used my hand and did it as I went, and it looks better, and hopefully the little one will feel better and be able to, you know, grow more full. And this is how much I took off that I'm going to be saving. I took off quite a bit more than that I wasn't able to save because it didn't have any leaves on it. Like you can see a lot of the the dried leaves that fell off that just kind of landed in the tray. I'm only gonna do one of the little containers for you to see because I'm gonna be at this for quite a while because it takes me a long time to do that. But let me get you set up on the tripod. So what I do is I'm just gonna take one of these little containers. It doesn't really matter which one. And then I just fill it up with a little bit of the soil mix that I have right now. It's coconut core, perlite, and sand. That's just what I have in here. Usually it's just coconut core and sand. The perlite was from another plant that I took out of the container, but the perlite was still fine, so I just mixed it in with what I have. And then I fill it up like halfway. If you can see in there, it's like halfway filled up. And then I have a convenient tray over here still that I can put it on. And then I just, for the vines, again, I'm gonna do this on my own for the most part because this is going to take me quite a while to do because I am very like, I make sure each one is in there well and taken care of, and I'm gentle with them and everything. So I'm going to do this very slowly, but I will show you a few of them. But this is one of the, like, I don't even know if you can see. This is one of the vines that was super, super leggy. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it again at the top of where the leaves start towards the bottom. And then I just take off like 3 or 4 of the leaves. And where's my trash can? There it is. And get rid of those leaves, and then it has, you can see the vine kind of now, it doesn't have any of the leaves, and then I just put it in the soil, and then I'll cover the part that I took the leaves off of with soil and put a little bit of water on top of it, and then just sit it in the windowsill, and that's it. And I don't water them when they're getting propagated. You guys are all sorts of tangled. After they're in their containers, I don't water them until they get completely dried out, because I don't know if these are like air plants or a succulent, or I honestly have no idea. But again, I'm doing the same thing. I have a little vine, and then I'm taking off 3 leaves on this one, and then I just put it in the container, so those little spots where the leaves were is gonna be under the soil. I just water them when they get super completely dried out. Like, I forget about them, and again, this might not work for you. This is just what works for me and how I take care of my little guys. Hopefully it'll work for you, I don't know, but this is what I have found that works for me and doing it. But yeah, I just take off a few of the leaves, stick it in the soil, and then I fill this little container until like all is like 360 around filled. And then I just put more soil on top of that, and then that one's ready. Let me show you one of the ones that I have done, and I will probably not finish it today because this is gonna take a while. And I did the exact same thing that I'm doing now with these guys, by the way, in case you're wondering. This is my biggest one that I have, and it is quite big. It started out as long as this one is going to be, so just a couple leaves, and yeah, it's gotten very long, as you can see. Here's the front of it, so you can see it better. I did the exact same thing that I'm doing with these guys on these guys, and I have 4 that are in these containers as well, and then I have 1 in a bigger container that's pretty much the same size as that one that also took, and that one's my newest one. But yeah, this one's my oldest one and the first one that I did it on, and it went, so you know, it made me pretty confident. But yeah, let me do the rest of these little guys off camera, because I am going to take at least an hour, probably 2, knowing me, because I definitely take my time with my little plants, and because these guys are so delicate, I'm going to be here for a while, so I'm going to do that off camera. Let me put this little guy back and move some things around here, and then I will do my knitting before I finish, you know, planting all of these little guys. I also need to take my watch off and put it on the charger, so give me an extra second. I didn't look at the temperature. Let me do that real quick, and then I'll start knitting. It would have been fine if I didn't look. We are still on the green one, but I wanted to make sure it was still green. I was pretty sure it was, but you know, just in case I didn't want to mess it up. As for today, like I said, it's just been a, ooh, you are very crooked. Hang on. Let me fix you. There you go. It wasn't too bad, actually. It just looked worse than it was. But as for today, it was honestly a very, very calm day, which was very needed. I will say one thing. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll know that we took apart the couch and cleaned it out and got rid of all the evidence of mice and stuff, because we're pretty sure they're all out of the house and we are finally free of them, which is very, very nice. So we took that apart and got it completely cleaned out and everything, and that couch is quite heavy. And all day long I have been trying to figure out why my hamstrings the back of my legs are so sore. It's from lifting the couch up and tipping it on its side and flipping it around and stuff, because I was using my legs to do that. So yeah, my legs are really sore today, and honestly I kind of like it because I don't really get sore anymore, so I'm honestly kind of enjoying it. And just knowing that the couch is clean is extremely nice. It also just feels nice because it's deep cleaned. And like I said, the tomatoes are doing really well. I'll probably bring them inside here after I finish knitting because the sun is going down and it's probably going to be getting very cold. I don't think it's supposed to be freezing, thankfully, tonight, but I still don't want them to be out there because it'll be close enough and they are not used to that kind of cold yet. My little string of turtles back there looks so short and cute again. Yeah, that little guy I have had for 2 years, I think. All right, so 2 things. I finished the blanket and I also did the little string of turtles. So this is what it looks like now that it's all done. I leave the middle open, like with no plants at the start, and then I'll add some probably as it gets more mature, or if I like have any more cuttings or whatever, I'll just stick them in because they also just do really well. I just need to get the little guy some water. But yeah, this is what it looks like when I first do it, and I'm gonna have quite a few more probably. I'll show you tomorrow once I get them all done and how they all look, because I don't know how many I'll have. I might have 2 or 3 more probably, judging by how many I have in there. But yeah, once this is all done, I just water the little guy until it runs out the bottom because there are drains in there, and then I just put it in the windowsill and I don't really do anything. It just kind of takes care of itself. I never give the string of turtles any food, by the way, any plant food, by the way. It just kind of does its thing. I don't know if they're like air plants or if they're succulents or what kind of plant it is. I just know that they're very easy for me and I really enjoy propagating them. Also, as they grow, obviously they will start to get heavy and then they'll fall down and they won't stand up. But yeah, that's how I do it, and I just wanted to finish that one real quick so that way you could see it done in this video. And as for the blanket, it's the green row that's at the top. It is getting quite thick with the green again. We had a good bit where we didn't need it, but it's getting very green again. And as long as it doesn't like go back to being blue, I am fine with the green, because I think it's supposed to warm up next week and we should get some more orange on there. But I am going to get the video edited for you now and get the rest of my little string of turtles in their containers and hopefully happy and set up and watered and everything, so that way they can start growing. And again, they are super easy for me to do. I don't know if it's just seriously because I'm lucky or if they're just really easy to do, but that's all I do. I just take a few of the leaves off, cover it in soil, and put them in the sunshine, and that's seriously it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video, so thank you so much for watching. I hope your little string of turtles do well. If you are also taking care of them, I hope they do well, because I love these little plants. They're just really happy little guys. And thank you so much for watching this video too, by the way. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow. I don't know what I will be doing, but it's gonna be rainy, so I don't really know what I'm gonna be doing, but I am looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. But yeah, for today, I hope you had a good day today, no matter what you did. If it was a lot or a little, it doesn't matter. I just hope you had a good day today, and if you're not feeling well for whatever reason, I hope you're feeling better soon. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow for the next video. Thank you again so much for watching today's video. Bye! I'll see you later.